Alright, I just got back from watching Jason Bourne, and I thought I would quickly put a review together in between editing my reviews of Ghostbusters 2 and the new Ghostbusters video game. So I hope you enjoy my quick thoughts on the new Jason Bourne film. Now, I am a huge fan of the Bourne trilogy. Each one gets better and better, and the third movie I consider to be a masterpiece, balancing action, character development, and government talk, which usually can become very boring. So the movie starts and we see Jason Bourne for a few seconds. Then we are shown the rest of the characters of this movie, and after about 15 to 20 minutes you really are scanning the screen to see if you can find him anywhere. I almost felt like the government members of this movie as I was constantly looking at footage on a screen searching for Bourne. Once we see him again though, the movie sticks with him a lot more, and he is still as awesome as ever. Matt Damon has still got it. Even though it has been almost a decade, when you watch his performance in this film, you don't see Matt Damon, you see Jason Bourne. And it's so nice to see what he's been up to after his escape in the Bourne Ultimatum. I always wanted to know that as a kid. Now we also have Tommy Lee Jones, who is one of the government members who is after Bourne, and I thought he would be great, but in the end he was just alright. Which is a shame because I thought he was going to knock this role out of the park, but instead he left very little of an impression on me. The other guys in the last three movies left an impression and you remember them. Jones unfortunately is quite forgettable. Now the story of the film is kinda half and half. On the one hand, it does something new for the Bourne series, but its execution is really quite boring. The other half of the story is the bad guys pursuing Bourne, and those are the best parts to me. The first half has good parts, but doesn't feel like a Bourne film. The second half though is a completely different story as it kicks into gear and it becomes the Bourne movie I wanted to see. The questions it raises about Bourne's past is really quite interesting, and I hope we get answers to them in the future, as Matt Damon has stated that he is more than willing to return so long as the same director, Paul Greengrass, signs on to the project. So let's talk about Greengrass. He has directed the Bourne Supremacy and Ultimatum, and he showcased a lot of talent with the two. The Bourne films are the only ones that do shaky cam extremely well, whilst plenty of other movies try and either fail miserably or don't quite reach the level of perfection. So with that said, how are the action scenes in Jason Bourne? Well, they are really good, but fall short when compared to the previous films in the trilogy, and definitely not as good as Ultimatum. The same goes for the car chase scenes. This movie tries to go bigger, but for some reason, even though they are enjoyable, they seem too simplified and not as smart or complex as the films prior. That being said, they are still enjoyable, but the action scene at the beginning, you can tell that Greengrass is a bit rusty with the old direction and camera angles. But towards the last 5 minutes of the scene, the tension starts to build, the scene gets more intense, and the shots are crafted a lot better. Also on a side note, I found the casting of the assassin in this movie to be really funny. The actor playing him is Vincent Cassel. This guy was in two other movies with Matt Damon, and those are Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13. He plays the funny French guy in those, although trust me, he is anything but funny in this film. He is really ruthless here. So overall guys, I still enjoyed this Bourne movie. It was not as good as the original three, but it sure as heck was better than the shitty Bourne legacy. So I give Jason Bourne a 7 out of 10. The main problem with this film is that unlike the original trilogy, I have only seen this once and I really have no desire to see it again. Also, if you're a fan of the series like me and you like the endings with the Extreme Ways song, then you will love this one as it shows Jason Bourne as a badass and it cues the music at just the right time. So that's my review. Stay tuned as I am spending hours upon hours editing and shooting my reviews of Ghostbusters 2 and the new Ghostbusters video game. The only hint I will give you is that these are not just your standard reviews. I have something really special and much bigger planned for them. So thanks very much for watching guys, I always appreciate it. Comment below with your thoughts of the new Bourne movie and what you think of the series in general. Until then, I'll catch all of you next time. Take care.